Yo, it's Rob here from Showdown, and guys, I know it's been a long time, but we're back now. Hot takes of anime TikTok. Let's get right into it. One Piece be like... Yo. Listen, y'all, we get it. Pacing can be bad sometimes. You know, that's Toei's fault. But, I mean, honestly, they've been improving, though. Egghead is looking beautiful right now. Wano looks great. I'm just really waiting to see what Wit Studio does with the One Piece remake. I want to see how their pacing is. Oh, so we got a Sora gauntlet here. Any Kingdom Hearts fans, you already know what time it is. Let's see what he says.
Okay, so we've got Sora from Kingdom Hearts running the anime, manga, comic, and video games gauntlet. Where does he stop? And tell me which one of these series is your favorite.
Okay, so he's starting off with Master Chief from Halo, which is, I think that's a wash. I think he destroys Master Chief because versatility wise, Sora is up there with the best of them. In round 2, we have Naruto, who's another interesting case because if you're looking at his chakra reserves, Naruto is the best in the business when it comes to chakra reserves in the Naruto series. Not only does he have access to the Nine Tails, but he also has access to Sage, chakra mode, and so many other things. And that may be an issue for Sora because we know that Sora does not have an infinite supply of magic power. But when you talk about the enemies that Sora has faced and defeated, characters like Sephiroth, yeah, it's gonna be tough to get Naruto over Sora. Because Sora himself also has access to a bunch of different forms. Need I remind you that Sora has Valor, Wisdom, Master, and Final Form? And depending on which Keyblade he's wielding, it's gonna be even more problematic for Naruto? Yeah, I think I'm gonna give the edge to Sora here. In round 3, we see Kratos there. I'm not too sure about this one. I feel like Kratos is on a completely different level. I mean, it's Kratos' job to literally take down the gods. That's what Kratos is known for. It would be a struggle for me to get Sora over Kratos, and I don't think he has a shot against Kirby or Sonic, but let's see what he has to say.
But up first, he's fighting Master Chief from Halo. And as much as I love the Halo series, they stand no chance against Sora.
Facts.
There's Naruto. He might be one of my favorite characters of all time, but he and his verse are getting packed up. I wonder how good a Keyblade is at cutting down a tree. Then there's Kratos from the God of War in round 3. And in a chance encounter, Kratos stands no shot of winning.
Ooh.
An argument for him winning if he gave him every weapon and item he's had throughout the series. However, you'd have to do the same thing for Sora and the result's the same. And Kirby from the Kirby series is kind of in the same situation. He'd have a decent chance of winning with the power-up from the Star Ally Sparkler. But again, if you give Sora access to everything he's had throughout the series, it's kind of a wash.
What are we actually doing here? Are we saying that these characters have full abilities and full weapons and full everything? Because that was one of the questions that I brought up against Naruto, right? Is he going to have the best Keyblade in the series? Because when we're talking about Kirby, right? He's a character that literally had to go up against Magolor's Soul. A character that has such insane techniques and abilities that is way beyond the multiversal scale. It's on a completely different plane of existence. He's literally throwing dimensions, changing reality, doing all these crazy things. Kirby took down Magolor's Soul, y'all. If you think I'm lying, you could look it up. And when I'm looking at Sora, I think it would be really, really tough to get Sora in that type of conversation. Because essentially, Kirby is a walking pocket dimension by himself. If Kirby is able to absorb Sora, then he would literally just absorb all of Sora's techniques and replicate them, and then fight Sora being Sora Kirby.
And finally, he's fighting Ultrasonic from the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comics run, and this right here is more than likely where Sora's gonna stop.
Okay.
He's too fast and has too many hacks that Sora can overcome, and he's way more combat oriented. So he's stopping at round 5, but don't get me wrong, that's gonna be a serious fight.
Okay, so we completely agree on Sonic, but I personally would probably have him stopping at around Kratos, definitely Kirby, but probably around Kratos area. You guys let me know what you think.
It's the worst Straw Hat.
It's Sanji. It's Sanji, and it's not even close. Shizzle Max Shinobi, let's get active. Listen, I don't care what the excuse was. When Sanji pulled this bullshit on Luffy, I already didn't like him. To this day, I wish Zoro would have been there to see that shit that Sanji pulled. Cause I just know he would have had more than a few words for him. But that is true. If Zoro got a chance to see what Sanji did to Luffy and Whole Cake, no doubt in my mind there would be a fight between those two. Honestly, Zoro does not pull any punches when you're talking about fighting against Luffy. That aside, his simping ways are irredeemable. In 2024, we are not glorifying simps, bruh. But it would be one thing if his simping ways only affected him. But we are shown over and over again that they negatively impact the crew. Like Sanji versus Black Maria was just straight up embarrassing. And you would have thought that all of this running he did would have taught him something. But no, he still be doing way too damn much all the time when it comes to females. And then he's literally in a country full of starving people and barely feeds anybody. Do your job, dude! But no,
This is crazy.
instead of feeding starving people, you'd rather stay in the Capitol and oogle over females all day. He's the worst Straw Hat, bro. Don't get me wrong, he's saucy as hell. I love his fighting style. But all the other Straw Hats are better. No cap.
Oh man, yeah, this one's tough because I am a fan of Sanji, but everything he said for the most part is spot on. I too had a very big issue with how Sanji was moving during the whole cake arc. I felt like it really made no sense for him to leave the crew. We get that he was trying to protect them, but you already know, you've been sailing with Luffy for how long? You know how Luffy operates already. You knew that Luffy was going to come back, save you. You knew that move was going to put your crew in danger, and you decided to carry through with it anyway. And when Luffy and Nami pulled up on you and said, hey Sanji, we figured you out, like come on, come back with us, you literally kicked Luffy's teeth out. So I completely understand, but I can't pick Sanji as the worst Straw Hat when a character like Usopp exists, yeah? Usopp is my worst Straw Hat by far. Usopp has been a liability since pre-time skip. A lot of the Usopp defenders out there love to talk about how Usopp brings the humanity to the crew, he brings the comedic relief, and that his job is more than just fighting, it's camaraderie with the crew, and you gotta look over that, stop being a shonen meathead and whatever. I do not want to hear all that. When Luffy says, I want to go for the One Piece, we are in post-time skip territory right now, and we are literally close to the end of the story. Usopp has been talking about him wanting to become a brave warrior and that he wants to go to Elbaf and turn up. Now we are on the way to Elbaf. Usopp hasn't turned up. He's nowhere near close to being the brave warrior that he said he was going to be. So obviously everybody's going to look at him and say, hey, this is your arc. You are the guy. It's now your turn to show up. The amount of times the crew has had to go out of the way to save Usopp. And when you're looking at the other Yonko crews, listen, Usopp has to realize that Luffy is a Yonko now. This is not East Blue. This is not Frame 1 One Piece. We are far within the story. Luffy is now considered a Yonko, an emperor of the sea, and Usopp still is not putting in work. His dad is going crazy. Yasopp has been putting in work. Von Augur on Blackbeard's crew has been putting in work. Where is Usopp to even show a quarter of the abilities that they're showing? And we know he has observation haki, so there's no excuse for Usopp to still be moving the way he's moving. Listen, I'm not saying Usopp has to go out there and one-shot Big Mom, one-shot Kaido or something like that. Of course not. Nobody is saying that. But there comes a point in time where your crewmates need help. They need assistance and they need to be able to rely on you in crew battles. Of course, One Piece is more than just fights and battles. We get that. You think I'm just watching One Piece just for the fights and battles? Are you crazy? But the crew at some point needs to realize that, hey, if we're trying to get to the One Piece, we're going to need to learn how to box. And sorry to tell y'all, Usopp fans, Usopp's role on the crew literally is a combat role. He is a sniper. That is a combat role. So how are you getting upset with people calling out Usopp for not being combative and not being able to box in situations where his role on the crew is to be able to fight? It makes no sense at all. Y'all are defending Usopp when Usopp was the one that almost left the crew in Water 7. Let's be serious here. If Usopp never returned to the crew in Water 7, does he make it to the New World? Let's be so serious. We know that's not happening. We know Usopp's not going out there making a better crew than the Straw Hat Pirates. Usopp knew that. Now, I will say one Usopp defender did have a great response to one of my reels that I made talking about Usopp in this very situation. One of my biggest gripes on Usopp was that Usopp went the hardest in battle in the entire series when it was against his own captain. That was the greatest fight we've ever seen Usopp have. That was the most passionate I've ever seen Usopp in battle. It was against his own captain, Monkey D. Luffy. Any other time, he's running, he's scared, and their response to that point was that, hey, Usopp only felt comfortable going to his fullest all-out attack because somewhere deep down he knew that Luffy wasn't gonna kill him, and that there's other characters that would have that bloodlust, that would be ready to kill Usopp at any given moment. So he is afraid to get in battle with them and go all out and antagonize them. But for Luffy, Usopp knew that he was not going to get killed or put down forever, and because he knew that his safety was guaranteed, he was able to go all out. That's an interesting point. Now, we don't know if that's fully confirmed, but we do know that that does kind of fit Usopp's character. So to that, I'll say this. Usopp has to turn up in Elbaf, or Luffy has to spin back, go pick up Yamato from Wano, and then move forward. I don't see a path with how the Straw Hats complete their mission with all these liabilities on their crew. It really makes no sense. The top 5 Straw Hats are amazing, and I can even look at the bottom tiers because we know the bottom trio of the Straw Hats, Nami and Chopper left Usopp. They've been handling their business. Yeah, it's sad that they don't know hockey, but they still have time to learn. Usopp knows hockey out of the worst trio in the Straw Hat crew, and he's been putting up less numbers. One Piece is not all about fights. We get that. But Usopp's role is sniper on the crew. I'm sorry, Usopp fans. He needs to know how to snipe. He needs to know how to fight. He's not the cook. He's not the helmsman. He's not the navigator. He's not the doctor. He is a fighter through sniping. Long range battle. So I will not apologize for calling out a character that is not boxing. With that, we move forward. Oh, we got a team battle here. You guys can see how many, oh my, Vegeta, oh my gosh, Saitama, but all right.
So let me get this straight. You want to put Archie Ultrasonic from the Archie the Sonic the Hedgehog comics run up against this anime, manga, video games, and cartoon team of Vegeta from Dragon Ball, Doom Guy from the Doom series, my bald brother Saitama from One Punch Man, and Ben from the Ben 10 series, and you're honestly asking if they could beat him in a fight? Yeah, I've just got one question for you.
Why?
Why do you hate them? Because come on, be honest here, Ultrasonic isn't needed. Supersonic is more than enough for those 4. Because until any of them can destroy and recreate 10,000 multiverses of infinite size as well as all of Sega and Capcom, while also being able to hold the position of the author and rewrite his own story, not a single one of these characters is putting up even an ounce of a fight, besides maybe Ben, but only because of
Alien X, yeah.
Comics if I'm being nice. But Ultrasonic is more than overkill.
Everything he said for the most part is correct. Sonic is one of the most broken characters in all of fiction. We just have to just get that out of the way. From the moment I saw that Sonic was running so fast that he was running through future versions of himself, outrunning black holes and doing all these other things casually, it was a done deal. I mean, even if these characters had the attack power to contend with Sonic, they would need to catch him. And quite frankly, none of them can. But don't sleep on Ben 10 with Alien X now. Alien X is a different beast. Definitely solid.
Why does everyone hate Gabby from Attack on Titan? Hating her is completely understandable. She's arrogant, obnoxious, and she has been completely brainwashed into believing her own race are devils. She killed Sasha in the most fiendish way. The angry faces she was making, the way she killed that one guard, climbed up the rope, and then pulled up and immediately pulled the trigger. I've never seen a child filled with so much anger and hate. She is Aaron's counterpart, his foil, the parallel between the two characters. Aaron hates the Marleyans because they attacked his town, killed his people, and caused the death of his mother. And Aaron gets his get back in the most treacherous way possible. Pulling up on Reiner cold like that, bringing bro down to his knees. In the previous scene, bro was just about to blow his brains out full of guilt. And Aaron's like, "What's up, baby? Remember me?" Tore off the Claw Titan's arms and used him as a nutcracker to get the Warhammer. The get back was treacherous. He no longer cared about killing innocents. None of that. And that will be a scene that young Gabby will never forget. She watched her people get crushed underfoot just like Aaron was forced to.
So it's interesting watching a Why We Don't Like Gabby video in hindsight after seeing the ending of Attack on Titan, right? Because we do know that Aaron was able to see the future. He knew everything that was going to happen and he tried to stop it, but clearly he couldn't, because in some respects he was the catalyst for things going crazy in the first place. It's very confusing, very weird, but what I will say is this: I don't see a world where you can defend Gabby because she was a part of the Marlians, who I feel like created their own demise. Now there are some Zeke defenders out there that believe that wiping out the Eldians and anybody that can become a Titan was the best path for the Earth, but I don't even think that makes sense or is fair either. There are Eldians that had no idea they had the power to become Titans. They had no idea of anything that was going on. It was the Marlians who were sending Titans to Paradis Island to antagonize the Eldians. If they left the Eldians alone, the Eldians would not have any issue with the Marlians. The Marlians were the ones that kept antagonizing the Eldians, and that's where the things really turned up. But the only slight defense I have for Gabby is that I feel like Falco could have informed her on what he saw before she went and killed Sasha. Falco was sitting there like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, and Gabby's super enraged, ready to just kill everybody that's just on the aircraft, and I'm sitting there trying to understand why Falco can't just relay to her what he knows about the other side, what he knows about the Eldian. Falco fumbled in that scenario, and that's why Gabby went and did what she did and then learned about other stuff afterwards. But it's too late. Sasha was already dead, and I feel like Falco could have at least talked to Gabby before he let Gabby go up there and do all this extra stuff. So at the end of the day, I'm still not rocking with Gabby, but I feel like Falco could have prevented everything from happening. So I also give blame to Falco.
The anime versus the popularity. Let's see this. Blood Blockade Battlefront is a great start.
So I have heard of this anime, but I have not watched it.
Okay, he's cooking. Hitman Reborn.
Yes! Hitman Reborn. Now, I've talked about Hitman Reborn years ago when I did a video talking about my top 3 most underrated anime. And there are times I want to talk about Suna in some versus battles, but I feel like there's so many people out there that don't even know who Suna is. So until more people find out about Hitman Reborn, man, it's tough to really talk about him. But yes, tap in with Hitman Reborn for sure.
Very gas. Okay, he's cooking. Okay, 86.
86?
Definitely slept on. I don't hear nobody talking about this.
I heard about 86.
The End is one of them ones, man. I got the same dynamic.
Never heard of it.
Show that I got from early Berserk, like Griffith and Guts. Like, yo, these two was cool. They was ride or dies for each other. Some early Naruto Sasuke-ish. And then it started just turning up and it started getting wicked. But they have some of the most fire designs I've ever seen. And they pulling up on folks clean. We can always say W's in the chat when I see a Dororo post.
Dororo.
Yeah, that's a good one. 6 for 6 right now. Plunderer is a good
I have, heard of Plunderer.
7 for 7. Okay.
Don't know this.
Dude know what he talking about. Yeah, this dude might have a vault of sleepers. I ain't gonna lie. If I see Soul
Never heard of this either.
Might be on to something.
Soul Eater, okay. Soul Eater gas.
If you ain't watched Soul Eater yet, come on, bro.
Yeah, you gotta watch Soul Eater.
Grow up.
Megalobox? Ooh, okay. Okay. Interesting.
Okay. All right. It's getting sweaty in here. It's getting real. Okay, buddy. All right.
Great Pretender. Yo.
Yo. Nah. Thank you.
Made in Abyss. Is that underrated though? I feel like Made in Abyss is super popular. Like I don't know.
This is a sleeper. No matter how many times I can repeat myself, Made in Abyss is a sleeper. One of the best shows ever. Yo, this was something I needed them to bring
I
back.
never heard of this.
Bring this back serious. The Jaeger was fire. Okay, twin.
I have heard of Codebreaker.
Codebreakers. I would say Blue Exorcist.
Okay.
With Soul Eater. I wouldn't say that they're extremely slept on. But
Yeah, I don't think it's underrated either.
love for sure.
D-Grade, man.
Man, it's great too. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
all fantastic anime so far. And the final one being
Noragami, yes. Yes. Noragami. Oh my gosh. Watch the Noragami, y'all. Shout out Yato.
this is a W post. Let me know which anime you haven't seen on this list because all of these are bangers.
And you know what time it is for what anime I'm gonna bring up. Watch the Law of Ueki. This is a Law of Ueki promo video. Tap in with the Law of Ueki. You heard it here first, or probably the 1,000th time now because I love the Law of Ueki. Yeah, let's keep going. Oh wait, my bad. I forgot to mention World Trigger. I feel like World Trigger should definitely be on this chart too. Watch World Trigger. That ain't me, y'all. This is AI. I think this is actually AI. Normally, I'm reacting to other creators' hot takes on anime TikTok, but I actually had my own. I was talking about Pokemon going up against Yu-Gi-Oh! And which world you would rather live in. Long story short, I went with the Yu-Gi-Oh! World because I think the Pokemon world is definitely more dangerous. But there was somebody that stitched it, so let's see what they have to say.
I'm gonna need y'all Pokemon fans to stop the cat, man. Every time I ask, would you rather live in the Pokemon world or the Yu-Gi-Oh! World?
Okay, my guy. I'm going to go ahead and put it to you this way because there's a factor that you're not considering when Pokemon fans are telling you that they would rather live in the Pokemon world instead of the Yu-Gi-Oh! World. Now, you're saying that the Pokemon world is plagued with all kinds of dangers.
Yeah.
And that you... in the Yu-Gi-Oh! World, you'll live a peaceful life. What makes you think we want to live a peaceful life? What makes you think we don't want to choose violence on a random, regular basis? What makes you think that we don't want that kind of danger in our life? Now, you said most of y'all don't even like wasps in your house.
Indeed.
What are we going to do when a 3'3" Beedrill shows up?
Yes.
I don't know. Capture the motherfucker? See, choose the Pokemon world because I want that type of chaos in my life. I want to be able to walk out and then Kyogre is about to flood the out of the goddamn continent.
Yeah.
I'm about to set off every volcano in the goddamn area.
So I understand your perspective actually, because what you're saying is the Pokemon world essentially is going to be more fun, even though it's going to be more dangerous. And I actually agree with the Pokemon fans on that. I do think the Pokemon world would be more fun. My position was just that we weren't really understanding how dangerous the Pokemon world would be if we were able to translate it to the real world. Most of the comments I'm receiving are people saying, hey, I would just become top trainer. I would just become the greatest in the world. First of all, I just look at it from a perspective of that the best Pokemon trainers would be people out there that are literally with animals 24/7. I'm talking about your Nat Geos, your zookeepers, your veterinarians. People of that nature are going to be among the best of the Pokemon trainers. If you don't even have a pet at home and you're saying you're gonna be Pokemon champion, like, relax. I feel like you're way in over your head. But what I will say is that one of the Pokemon fans did mention that the regions matter, and it's very, very true. Because if you're in like Paldea, or let's say Kalos region, or even a Lola region, you have much better odds in a more developed society versus Johto or Kanto, where it's just crazy every single day. Even the Hoenn region, and that's the one I focused on the most in my video, the Hoenn region is dangerous. But I do agree with you, the Pokemon world would be more fun. I get it. What I will say is at least you're acknowledging that the Pokemon world is very dangerous, because that was the picture I was trying to paint. You know, a lot of us were watching the anime and we're assuming that the anime feats are going to be applicable to us, but in reality it's not. That was my point. You know, Ash being electrocuted by Pikachu is frying us in the real world. I mean, that's just is what it is. In the anime world with anime physics, of course, you know, a 10-year-old is falling from a cliff and landed on his head and it's all good, but we know we can't do that. And that's why I was saying, if we put our real life bodies into that world, it's going to be a whole different vibe. And if we try to translate the Pokemon world to our world, it would be even crazier. And that was my point, talking about, hey, Kyogre may just tsunami one day, and now you got to figure out what you're doing. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below which takes you agree with or disagree with. Again, thank you guys so much for always supporting this channel. Make sure you guys support these creators. I'll put links to their TikToks down below. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.